The following episode describes in detail reported speculation and alleged whereabouts of a missing person and unproven reports of actions taken by family members, friends, and other relations. Listener discretion is advised. In early January 2022, 15-year-old Sue Paye ran away from her Worcester home. It's believed Sue packed her belongings and boarded a bus at Union Station, heading toward New York City. Sue's cell phone was pinged in Brooklyn a month after she went missing. The extensive efforts by Sue's family to find her haven't been successful, and they haven't seen Sue or heard from her in over 15 months. In what will be the most recent case we explore over the 6 seasons of Unsolved Worcester, Sue Paye will force us to ask a question for the first time this season. Does the missing person even want to be found?
Unsolved Worcester is brought to you by the following sponsors. Follow the crowd through the doors of Donut Homies and say hi to Haley Noel, the donut queen of Worcester's Canal District. This month, the specialty donut shop features special flavors like birthday cake and salted caramel cheesecake. Donut Homies is open inside the Worcester Public Market at 160 Green Street every Wednesday through Sunday at 11 a.m. Online ordering with delivery and pickup options is available at donuthomies.com. Follow Donut Homies on Facebook and Instagram for monthly menu drops, specials, and more. Donut Homies, everything sweeter with the homies.
Welcome to Unsolved Worcester. I'm your host, Dan Yeager. In today's episode, we share the unsolved missing person case of 15-year-old Sue Paye. The last of 10 unsolved missing persons cases we share this season on Unsolved Worcester. Sue vanished from Worcester on January 9th, 2022. Family members believe Sue may have been influenced by a fundamentalist Christian church in Brooklyn to leave Worcester and join the church and adopt their ways. In February 2022, a month after she went missing, Sue's cell phone was pinged and a credit card with Sue's mother's name was used in Brooklyn. Those are the last known traces of Sue Paye. For more than a year, her family hasn't heard from her. Unsolved Worcester will take a deep dive every Tuesday and Thursday into unsolved murders and missing persons cases under investigation by the Worcester Police Department's Detective Unit. We will be looking to the past, to missing persons cases that date as far back as the early 1970s and 80s. The most important question this season is, where are they? The approach to Unsolved Worcester is this: shine a light on each of these cases, put a life behind each missing person's name, provide a timeline of events and important details, and ask questions that still need to be answered. Our goal is to remind residents of the Worcester area, both past and present, that there are dozens of unsolved homicides and missing persons cases that need resolution. We hope we can be the spark needed to solve a case. Like Sabrina Hathaway, who disappeared in December 2014, Sue Paye isn't listed among the Worcester Police Department's unresolved cases. And there's really only one reason for this. People that are reported missing but aren't listed among the WPD's unresolved cases are individuals with a high probability that they are still alive, or at the very least, there's no evidence they're dead. While Sabrina's and Sue's stories are vastly different, they share at least a sliver of hope that the young women may still be alive. Sue's parents split up when she was younger, and she was living with her mother on Mason Street and attending Doherty Memorial High School in Worcester when she disappeared. Sue is Liberian. She has brown eyes. She's about 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing 140 pounds. Her hair was braided with streaks of black and gold at the time of her disappearance. She was carrying an iPad when she left Worcester. Sue was last seen by her mother around 10 a.m. on Sunday, January 9th, 2022, just before her mother left their home to go to church. According to reports, police believe Sue planned her escape from Worcester. She saved her money, packed her clothes in a bag, and hopped on a bus to New York City. It wasn't the first time Sue had run away. In fact, it was the 4th time Sue had left home. Before January 9th, 2022, Sue Paye had run away 3 other times. She had left home and headed to Texas once, and 2 other times to New York, where she had relatives. This time might be different, though. Sue's father said in the 2 previous times he retrieved Sue from New York City, she would quote the Bible to him. Since then, he said Sue had radically changed the way she dressed and no longer dressed like an American teenager. Sue's uncle went as far as saying Sue had been brainwashed, indicating that someone was telling her what to do. Sue's father told reporters she had been watching YouTube videos posted by Deeper Life Bible Church since she was 14 years old. Also known as the Deeper Christian Life Ministry, the Deeper Life Bible Church is a Pentecostal Christian denomination which lists 10 locations in New England, including one at 340 Main Street in Worcester. Deeper Christian Life Ministry was founded in Lagos, Nigeria. The church follows 22 core beliefs, including forbidding divorce and fundamental beliefs in the rapture, the second coming of Christ, the existence of a new heaven and earth, and everlasting punishment in hellfire for the wicked. In February 2022, Sue's father and uncle traveled from Worcester to Brooklyn on a tip that Sue was at a Deeper Life Bible Church there. But the tip didn't pay off, and Sue's family returned to Worcester without her. Back in Worcester in late February 2022, Sue Paye's family was joined by Mayor Joe Petty and school committee member Jerma Kamara outside of Union Station for an organized rally to find Sue. Sue's father Farley begged the Worcester community to share whatever information they might have about where Sue might be and to help his family find her. Farley made an emotional plea to the community, repeating one phrase, "Please let my baby girl come home." A week later, a prayer vigil for Sue was hosted at Christ Worship Center on Greenwood Street in Worcester. Sue's mother, Rosaline, addressed the large crowd, saying she could feel it in her spirit that nothing wrong had happened to Sue, and that what happens to Sue is in God's hands. A spokesperson for the Worcester Police Department told Boston 25 News the police are taking Sue's disappearance very seriously, because although she may have chosen to run away, it doesn't necessarily mean that she's safe and the people she's around could present a danger to her. The Worcester Police have been in contact with the NYPD regarding Sue's disappearance. Over the past year, There's been little information on Sue's possible whereabouts. In April 2022, a pair of prayer vigils and rallies were held in Worcester to support Sue's family's efforts in finding her. The Help Find Sue Paye Facebook page has offered a $500 reward for information leading to finding Sue. The community page is also calling for arrests to be made in her disappearance. Sue Paye is now 16 years old. She is listed in the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System. Thank you for listening. I'm Dan Yeager. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, please consider clicking the like button for us. And if you subscribe, the next episodes will show up in your feed. Click the bell on the right and select all, and you'll get a notification when the next episode is ready. If you have any thoughts you'd like to share, please leave them in the comments below. We do read them all and respond to as many as we can. Anyone with information about what happened to Sue Paye are asked to contact the Worcester Police Detective Bureau at 508-799-8651 or send an anonymous text to 274-637. Write TIP-WPD plus your message or send an anonymous web-based message at worcesterma.gov/police. Come back in April for the start of Season 4 of Unsolved Worcester, exploring 10 more unsolved homicides, starting with the 1984 murder of 17-year-old Patricia Gagne, who was bludgeoned to death near railroad tracks on Southgate Street. Patricia's body was found outside of a window well at the former Branson Wire Company, just 2 blocks away from her home. Be sure to visit Unsolved Worcester on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Unsolved Worcester. Listen to all episodes for free at unsolvedworcester.com and on podcast streaming platforms, including Spotify, Apple, Audible, and more. Special thanks to the Worcester Public Library, the Worcester Police Department, the City of Worcester, Ron Scott at New England Sky Picks, and our sponsors for making this possible. Information on the disappearance of Sue Paye was gathered from multiple resources, including the Telegram and Gazette, Spectrum News 1, Boston 25 News, WPIX 11 in Brooklyn, the Help Find Sue Paye Facebook page, the National Missing and Unidentified Persons Systems, and more. The Unsolved Worcester podcast music is provided by Tom LaBelzik of the Worcester Jazz Collective. This episode of Unsolved Worcester is written and produced by Pat Sargent. Drone footage provided by New England Sky Picks. Videography and editing by Colin Turner. Sponsorship information announcer Chandler Walsh. Be sure to check out the video for this episode with exclusive aerial views and more on our Unsolved Worcester YouTube page. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't miss another episode. Click the notification button to get alerts when new episodes of Unsolved Worcester drop. This episode is supported in part by a grant from the Worcester Arts Council and the National Endowment for the Arts. To find out more about how National Endowment for the Arts grants impact individuals and communities, visit www.arts.gov.